Sellout stadiums, fan dancing, players doing backflips when they make a catch, and somehow this is one of the fastest growing sports in America right now. The Savannah Bananas and Banana Ball is doing something that traditional sports have left out. They made the game fun again. But the real question is, why is that working so well? We'll dive deeper into it. This is Red Letters Rewind. So let's kind of break it down. I know that some of you are saying banana ball is not real baseball. And you know what? You're right. And here's what makes it different. First of all, no bunting allowed. Now, some people would like to institute that in regular baseball. I get it. But that's one of the cool things about Savannah ball is you can't bunt. Also, games are 2 hours long. It doesn't matter. At 2 hours, whoever's batting at 2 hours, the game ends. Now, what about this one? If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. Now, that is crazy. And we actually have seen that a few times, either on TV, online, and we actually saw it happen in person where a fan catches a foul ball, the guy's out. Walks, well, when you draw a walk, it's not limited to just one base. You sprint to see if you can pull out two base. Maybe it's a wild pitch to see if you can get around to the second base. And players are constantly interacting with fans. You might say it's ridiculous, the line dances. Each team has their own variety of what they do, whether the tailgaters come out and they sit in their beach chairs and they do crazy songs and interact with the fans. They actually walk up into the stands and sit with fans and communicate with fans and stuff. It's just unbelievable what they do. But here's the thing. That's why it's so vital to their business plan, because the one thing that they made clear is that fans come first. Not tradition, not stats, and not like this is how we've always done it. The founder of Banana Ball has said this. His number one goal is to have 1 billion fans. His number one goal is not to make money. His number one goal is not to sell merchandise. His number one goal is not to make Banana Ball look like baseball. The number one goal for Banana Ball, for every team in the league, is to make fans. And that is what they're doing right. Now, some people will say, it's just a gimmick. It's not real baseball. No, it's not baseball. It's Banana Ball. It's something different. And it's exposing something that sports don't have right now. One, it prioritizes entertainment. Think about it. When I go to a football game, when I go to a college football game, that's one of the things that it just drives me crazy. It's not about entertainment. It's about TV. When you go to a college football game or an NFL game, how many times do they take a TV break and you're like, oh my goodness, this break will never end, or you have to watch this replay, and so it slows everything down. I know some people in the world feels like in sports, that's all we're talking about, but sports is entertainment. At the end of the day, they need your eyeballs on there. And I'm not arguing for the traditionalists who love to sit through a 3.5, 4 hour baseball game. I was watching the Pirates and the Phillies, I think that was the other night when they had a rain delay, and it was over 6 hours long in total. It's just crazy. And some people love that. And if I'm going to watch baseball, I am a traditionalist. Like, why are we putting somebody on second to start extra innings? Why are we doing all these things to speed the game up? It kind of takes the tradition out of it. So they're already taking tradition out of baseball anyway. But Banana Ball, especially, the experience is crazy because it's fast. There's music playing constantly, and that's another thing. It's about entertainment. It takes what sports do and it makes it entertaining. Every moment of that 2 hour game is designed for crowd engagement. It's fast, it's unpredictable, and again, most importantly, it's fun. Maybe it's not fun for me, Mr. 50-year-old dad, but you know what? Those kids age 3 years old to 14 years old especially, they have way more fun going to a banana ball game than they do a Braves game. And let's be honest, I can't blame them. Number 2, it embraces personality. You know what? When I saw that Tanner Allen had signed with the Coconuts and Banana Ball, my first thought was Banana Ball fits Tanner Allen perfectly. Maybe it doesn't fit every player. Maybe it doesn't fit every fan, but it fits their personality. I think that let's go back to the XFL. And when I say XFL, I mean the XFL of the early 2000s. And that's what they did right. They embraced personality of those guys. They let people put "he hate me" on the back of their jersey or whatever. And it wasn't all about being stuffy. It was about being unique and letting the players be personal. In traditional sports, players are often coached to be safe. Safe interviews, safe answers, safe personalities. But fans don't really connect with safe. They connect with real. That's one thing that the world's looking for right now. That's for you to just be real. With all the AI and everything else that you can't really tell what's real or not, what you can tell is who has a real personality. And that comes across in Banana Ball. It's crazy when you watch the games, when you're there in person, and by the middle of the game, you can kind of tell who's the loud one and who's the good dancer and who's the one that's going to hype up the crowd. And you know what? The fans connect with that. I don't know the players' names, but these guys, these kids that follow the teams around these various ballparks, they get to know the players personally. They get to know the personalities, and they get their fan favorites. And the players interact with the fans. They get autographs. They come up and they know them from venue to venue to venue. And so it's really interesting how they embrace personalities in Banana Ball. And in MLB and in NFL, you're meant to be just rigid and strict and do what the coach tells you to do. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. That's just a difference of what Banana Ball is tied into. Number 3, it reminds us when we fell in love with sports. You know, I can remember back in my little league days and we went to a game. I'll never forget it. It was the Cardinals and the Phillies. Eric Davis played for the Phillies at the time. You had all the Cardinals. I was a Cardinals fan. I'm a Cardinals fan. So you had all the Cardinals players, Ozzie Smith, and all those guys back there playing. And what was crazy, after the game, we come down and we find where the players are exiting and going to their vehicles. And so there's a line. It's not a huge crowd. There's probably 30 to 40 fans there waiting to get autographs of these players. And I can't remember what the star player was at the time that came past us. The Cardinals had several star players. I don't remember. It was Vince Coleman. It was one of the big names. He comes by. He takes one item as he's walking, never even looks at the fan, and he takes it and he scribbles his name and he hands it back out and just waits for somebody to grab it out of his hand, jumps in his car, takes off and leaves. Behind him a few feet was the pitcher. Nobody knew who this pitcher was. I think he was a reliever in that game. Maybe he ended up with a win or something, but he came out and he took time with every single person who handed him an item. He signed my glove. And that's the thing. That's what Banana Ball does. That it restores the joy. It takes all the corporate America out of it. It puts us back to what we reminded backyard games. I mean, Banana Ball looks like when I was in college, me and my buddy just going out and hitting wiffle ball at the park. You know, that's what Banana Ball reminds me of. It's about having fun. And that's what big league baseball and football and all the rest have really taken out of the game. It's just not fun anymore. But it reminds us of the joy that we felt when we fell in love with sports. I love sports. I love Jesus. That's why we started this podcast, was for me to have a way to talk about sports with other people who might love sports too. And Banana Ball really shows the joy the sports brought to my life when I was a kid in T-ball, first picking up a bat. So let's zoom out for a minute, because this isn't just about baseball. This is about, again, what sports fans are looking for right now. They're looking for connection, energy, authenticity, and memorable moments. And let me tell you what, we were out of town Saturday. We drove back through Birmingham, and the UFL game was playing, the Stallions and Orlando, whoever they're playing. The big story here in Birmingham was that the Stallions were not going to be back this year. They weren't getting the crowds that the UFL wanted. They felt like they needed to move the franchise somewhere else. So it really got me thinking, why is that? What is the UFL, the Stallions, but it's really not a Stallions problem, it's the UFL in general. What is the UFL doing wrong? And you know what the UFL is doing wrong? They're trying to emulate the NFL. They're trying to emulate college football. They want a legit spring football league. And you know what? I think Banana Ball is showing us that's not where it's at. If the UFL copied from Banana Ball and they had fan events for an hour or two before the game, if they had music playing throughout the game and they let the players be involved with the fans both before and after, and more importantly during the game, I'll guarantee you in Birmingham and Charlotte and Orlando and Louisville, Kentucky and Los Angeles, California, wherever those leagues are, if they truly had the fan interaction, if they put the fan first, then guess what? The UFL will be successful because they're never going to compete with the NFL. They've got to put out their own product. The one thing that I think they did well when they first started the league was Birmingham specifically drafted players from Alabama and Auburn and Mississippi State and Ole Miss and Tennessee, those regional fans that maybe they got to know while they were in college. They put them in Birmingham, and that helped a little bit of a connection. But you know what? They went to the UFL, they went to the Stallions, and they wore a helmet, and you never saw their face, and you never got to know those guys, and it really never went anywhere from there. I think the UFL needs to adopt what Banana Ball is doing and make it about the fans. Make it about connection before, during, and after the game. Energy. Play music the whole time. I'm not saying the guys need to dance on the sidelines. When I was in college, we started a thing called the Dog Pound Rock. And we actually did it on the field, and the players get up and they dance to Who Let the Dogs Out. And that's still going on today, 30 years later. That's crazy. But that's kind of the thing. That's a fan interaction moment. It shows energy. We want authenticity. The UFL can do what the Banana Ball does and create authenticity. And they want moments. We want highlights. Take chances, UFL. That's what the Banana Ball does. They get extra points for trick plays. I'm not saying you have to give extra points, but take chances, create moments, create highlight reels. That's what's so fun about Banana Ball that nobody else can really replicate. Yes, you have the occasional trick play, not trick play, but great OBJ moment. I mean, the one moment that OBJ had, that one-handed catch for a touchdown, people still talk about that. And that was 5 or 6 years ago. It's crazy what moments can do and how they can continue to replay in your mind. How many of us remember catches over the wall in baseball, or foul balls that are caught sliding into the dugout? We see those things in our mind because they stand out. And Banana Ball does it right. They create those moments specifically, and they reward the teams for taking the chances. And here's where this connects to something a little bit deeper, because if we're honest, sometimes we fans take sports too seriously. And don't get me wrong, competition matters. When I'm paying money for season tickets and NIL and all this other stuff for college football, like, I expect to be competitive, right? Winning matters. Ask any coach. Winning matters, especially in professional sports and in college sports today. If you don't win, you don't keep your job. If you don't win, you'll be looking for another team to play for next year. But you know what? Experience matters. Joy matters. In Ecclesiastes, it says this: everyone should eat and drink and take pleasure in all their toil. This is God's gift. In other words, work matters, but so does the joy that comes with it. Banana Ball, in a weird way, is reminding us of something that we probably already knew. Sports, at their best, are when they bring joy, when they create times that'll bring people together, and when they give us moments that we'll never forget. Not just about stats, not just about outcomes, but about moments. That's the main reason I continue to go to Mississippi State football games. Sorry, Levy, it's not about you. Sorry, Selman, it's not about the overall success of the program, although that helps. It's about connection. If I didn't have friends that went, if I couldn't take my son, my daughter, my wife to a game, I might as well just watch it on TV. I'm afraid that sports in general is losing what the banana ball is pointing out that's important. And that sports should be fun. Don't take it so seriously. So, whether you love banana ball or you think it's a little over the top, you can't ignore what it's showing us. Fans want more than just games. They want experiences, connections, joy, and honesty. This might be something the rest of the sport should pay attention to. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. And drop me a comment if you're a banana ball fan and let me know, one, who's your favorite team? And it's hard to go against the OGs, the Savannah Bananas, but you know what? I like those party animals, and I have to cheer on the Coconuts because of Tanner Allen. So tell me, what's your favorite moment from banana ball and who's your favorite team? Until next week, this is Red Letter Sports.
It's all jokes, but beware when we start clowning around. And if you didn't catch the name, we'll have to spell it out. We are the INTIANABOLIS. So hey, tell your favorite team that we ain't come to play. We came to light the place all up and made the crowd say, hey, what more to say? We started in the Negro League when it was hard sweat, tears and blood. We bleed with the odds stacked against us, but we made it believe. We turned the weight of the world into some joy you can keep. Here come the July. Never lost. A chance to dance, to play ball and free, and every time we take the field, we make it history. So let's get down to the clouds, everybody with me. Running around, we can teach you a thing too. You ain't seen nobody play the game the way we do. Come on, running around, broke the road that swore was true. First aside the women to the game, we changed the view. And we knew she would have stuck until she made it home. Remember the name? Baby, not struck about at the mound. Throwing 5 from the glove, yeah, she sent him. Remember the name? Deonnie Morgan, from first to second base. She was moving so quickly, you couldn't catch up with the pace. And don't forget Hank Aaron, the king of the game. He was only 18 when he made his claim to fame. That's insane. Had everybody up on their feet. Him and Hank hitting them to the stadium's beat. Yeah, that's why we could fly. And everybody knew that was obvious. So all you had to do was keep rocking it, then we took
How many times have you seen your favorite baseball team go round and round for titles? Ain't that the dream? How many times have you seen your favorite baseball team go round and round for titles? Ain't that the dream?
Well, then the dream came true. 4 titles came along and elevated the crew. And we had everything and wondered, well, what else could we do? But little did we know show business was the route we pursued.
Yeah, the Negro League, well, it better than game. So we began another song and sang the great Central Veins. And we played and turned it up to dominant to a state.
Where we stayed to entertain and change the game in ways we couldn't explain. But the road ends here. No more playing shadow ball where the ball disappears. The year was 1989 and it became unclear. Would the clowns ever reappear?